Hello again, everybody. This is Dan Clouser, and welcome back to the Journey of My Mother's Son podcast. Still on my little series here of doing some interviews with some of the guys here at the Dream Center of Southeast Texas, and I'm now joined with Greg Sury, who is just recently promoted to missionary volunteer. Went through the program, became an intern, has progressed well through the program, and is now kind of on the final step to get back into society, and has some things on the burner that are looking pretty good to have some success as you get out of here. The other thing I want to add is Greg is an incredibly talented musician. We've been blessed to hear him sing and play guitar and play bass and play keyboards and play drums and all of that stuff. So, Greg, thanks for taking the time to join me today and to tell your story a little bit here.
My pleasure.
So, like all the guys I've talked to so far, it seemed like you were kind of going down this gradual path of alcoholism that then led to inhalants. And there seems to be a level of in an addict's mind that you're above the law, that you're never going to get caught, you don't need help, and then all of a sudden, man, you just hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And that seems to be where you finally, it gets your attention that maybe
Right.
maybe
I was
not doing this right. So tell me a little bit, you said the first battle with alcohol, that, when you first started drinking, when you were of legal age, it's like you said, you got drunk and just kept getting drunk. So,
right. I was 19. That was the legal age in Texas. When I turned 19, I was playing with a polka band in Houston, and they like to take whiskey with them and beer because they're Czechs like me, Germans, and so we were drinking, and I got hold of that whiskey on one of our gigs, and I got drunk immediately, first time. And the guy leading the band called my parents and said, "It's real foggy. Greg's going to have to stay here tonight." So he was kind of taking up for me, so we continued with the band. I played in bands for 40 years in Houston. I had computer jobs. I'm a desktop support and network administrator, and playing in the bands on weekends. And maybe DJing on weekends in nightclubs. So one time I had 3 jobs and everything was great. And but on weekends, I'd like to get drunk, really.
Yeah.
And so I functioned like that for a long time. I got married in '93, and before that, I racked up 3 DWIs. I crashed every car I'd own eventually.
Yeah. Did you ever hurt anybody else in any of those
No.
crashes? Thank God for that. Huh?
Yeah, I could have killed somebody. But got married in '93, and things went pretty smooth because we looked out for each other, right? I didn't get in trouble when I was married, and I was married for 6 years. And I got divorced in 2000. Immediately got another DWI.
Wow.
And again in 2004, and again 2007, and I was living in my house. I stayed there 15 years, paying on it, and working the day job, but still getting DWIs, still playing in the band. So it was, eventually something's going to happen.
Right. So definitely a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah.
For a long time.
So in 2012 is when first bad thing happened. I lost my house because I got a 3rd DWI, and I had to stay in jail for 7 months, and I couldn't pay on it.
Right.
After 15 years of a good payment record.
Right.
And so I got out and I lived with my mother. I was, that was 2012. I was 52 years old. Living with my mother, and she was living in a retirement community, and those people didn't even know I was there. So I I lost my chronological order here.
So you're living in the retirement community
Yeah.
with your mom. Nobody knew you were living there.
Right. So when I got out of the 7-month jail, I lived with her for a couple of years, and then I got a job, and I started building myself back up. Had a car and everything. But then I started using inhalants, and I got arrested over and over by the HPD. I'd sit in front of somebody's house inhaling that stuff because I didn't want to do it in front of her. Right. And the people living there would call the cops and, "Excuse me, sir, what's going on? Can you step out, please?" You know. That
so how did it graduate from the alcohol to the inhalants? Like what?
Okay, when I had that in 2000, I had a breathalyzer on my car. And I did not want to drink, and I did not want to get in trouble. So I started trying these inhalants. I thought I could hit it and quit it.
Right.
And eventually they showed up on the report as alcohol because there's a chemical in there that's
Gotcha.
kind of like alcohol.
Gotcha.
They pulled me in and said, "What's going on here?" "Oh, that's my aftershave." No, it was a tough lady. She's a tough bird. She broke me down. And so they made me go.
She wasn't hearing it. She wasn't buying the aftershave story. Huh?
She made me go back to jail for 3 days, and then I was on what they call colors. If they call your color, you got to call in every day. If you're green and they say green, come in. You got to take a drug test.
Right.
And they got me on pretty frequent. And so I eventually complete all my probations with mostly no problems,
right.
except for that one.
Right.
So living with my mother then, and I was working a great job close to home. A friend got me this job because of word of mouth. I had worked with him before at Chevron downtown. I got another job in oil and gas doing desktop support and paid $40,000, and I was playing in the band, making another $20,000. I was doing all right.
Right.
And I started using because something set me off and I got depressed. I was taking antidepressants also. So they kind of quit working on me, and I told my doctor, "I need you to up it or something." And he said, "I can't do it." So I'm running to Walmart and get the air dust off, and I'll take care of my own medication. And I couldn't stop doing it because you got to keep doing it.
Right.
It only lasts a couple of minutes. Then I wanted to do it 24/7. Started not showing up for work. "Greg, it's your last chance. You got to come to work." And I didn't do it. I got fired.
Yeah. And that just sets the spiral at that point.
Yeah.
So
no job, and so I keep doing that stuff because I had some money built up. I had saved 40 grand, and I started spending that money. I wasn't paying rent to my mother. I was doing good.
Right.
And
just spending it on inhalants.
All that money went down the tubes. And kept getting arrested. Had to go to jail. I had to go. Then I ran from them, so I had to go 9 months in Safe P, which is a prison for drug users. They make you go to class every day. When I got out of there, they took me to a halfway house in Beaumont, so pretty much homeless at that point. So they take me to this halfway house in Beaumont, and one of the guys that comes out to AA on Friday was Andrew McDonald. He worked also for the Dream Center as a promoter and fundraiser. He's a lawyer too. And so I learned about Dream Center, and I finally came over here as the next step.
So what was your reaction when you first got here? How long did it take you to buy in to the program?
Well, I pretty much committed to do the year here when I walked in, because I didn't have anywhere to go. Yeah. I didn't have to get a job. I kind of like not having that responsibility sometimes when I'm in my mess.
Right.
And so I could stay here a year and don't have to get a job and just do what I'm supposed to do the curriculum, do the work. I did it.
Did you have Did you have any type of relationship with God before you got here?
Not really. I was raised Catholic. My mother drugged me to church on Sunday, smelling like booze because I've been. Yeah. Can you sit over there? So I don't. We never prayed that hard,
Right.
and
So
our
what
family
was
never
that?
prayed together.
Yeah. So what was that like then? Just establishing that relationship with God, and
When I got here, I did that because I always wanted that relationship. I knew I wanted it,
right.
and I knew it was missing. And I finally was able to get to it here because they pretty much make you do it.
Right. Right. So you went through the success program. You became an intern. When we got here, you were helping in the office.
Yeah, I
leading
used
the
all
worship
those
team.
skills I knew as soon as I became an intern. I used all my musical ability. I started a worship band. I used my office knowledge of Word and Excel and all that stuff in the office for them. And Vilma was glad to have me assist
Yeah.
because they really needed it.
Yeah. Well,
And-
I think that's the one thing that I want to stress is that it just goes to show that addiction has no prejudice. Because you look at how talented you are as a musician, you look at your office skills. I mean, the first time I spoke here, I gave you a PowerPoint presentation that was just a notch above crap.
It's just a minimal.
And you tidied it up and made it look better than I ever would have imagined. And less. I mean, I think I gave it to you, the afternoon
Overnight.
before I was
Yeah.
I was going to talk, and you shoot me a text saying, "Hey, do you mind if I doctor this up a little bit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." And so again, talented with computers, but yet still just had this, this struggle.
Something missing.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things I really want to stress to my listeners is that, again, man, it can hit anybody at any time. So, because on the surface, there's no reason you should have fell into this because you had every talent to be successful in the workplace, potentially a very successful
Yeah, I
music
feel like
career,
God has given me more talent than I could imagine.
Yeah.
I know it.
So now moving forward, you've got some opportunities here in front of you, musically and talking about starting your own, computer business. As you move from intern to missionary volunteer, which is the final level of the 3-year program where you can go out, get a job, start earning some money, but still have the opportunity to save that money while you're still here at the Dream Center, which I think is a great component of the program here, because obviously that's one of the difficulties when you get out of a program like this is, most of the time you come in with nothing, and even though you've made this lifestyle change, you still essentially leave with nothing and then just get that punch in the face from reality that you need to work, so you're already behind the 8 ball, where here you have a year to build up a savings account that when you get out of the door here, you can get a place to live, you can get a car, you can, you should be on your feet, walking, ready to run. So how important is this next stage for you? Tell me about some of the things you got on the burner, some of the opportunities. I know the other day you talked about how blessed you were, no depression anymore.
Yeah.
And
That's a big one. That depression would kill everything.
Yeah, and just excited about the opportunities ahead. I mean, talking to guys in Nashville. I mean, I'll let you tell the story.
So I'm really feeling good, and I've always wanted a natural cure to the depression. I was so sick of depression holding me back. causing me to get in trouble with the law. I shouldn't have a police record. I got a laundry list like a terrible criminal. But it's going to be okay. They're just misdemeanors. So this is New Year's Day. Last night, I got me a New Year's Eve gig. I got a guy to come out here to take me all the way to Kilgore, Texas, 4 hours away. He paid me $300, which I told him I wanted $300. We got a free steak dinner. It was a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
I made my deal. Also, last week at church, we go to One City Church. I met a IT guy that volunteers at the church. He was running the lights, and he pulled me over and said, "Can you talk? I have an opening in my company at a school. I'm doing a project in IT, and I need some help. And I'd like to send your application in. And it, is there any problem with the background?" I said, "There's some misdemeanors." He said, "Is there any sexual offenses or theft?" I said, "No." So it's looking like I might get the job.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I think he's going to pick me up too.
That's awesome.
I do wish I had a car right now so I could be doing all this, but I have people that will come get me.
Right. Right.
So I think I can get more gigs in Beaumont because I can be the go-to guitar guy in Beaumont since there's not that much competition. Right. I mean, I came from Houston and I was playing every weekend.
Yeah.
So I should be able to play here, between here and Port Arthur. So yeah, that's the two things I was doing, right? Computers and music.
Yeah.
I don't want to DJ anymore.
Right. Right. And like I said, I mean the music, and you're so good. The night that I got to step in with you guys on the harmonica and just jam was so much fun, and it so cool. That night for me being around you and Jimmy and Caleb, and it's just like, all right, we're in D. Let's just and it's like just a few strokes and boom, man, everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, and I've taught Caleb how to play bass. He's a guitar player, and Jimmy's a natural on keyboards and drums.
Yeah.
And I taught Caleb the blues shuffle that we did. Yeah. So you were joining in there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I can definitely see a future for you on stage for sure. And I just think obviously important thing for you is to just keep your faith and your trust, and trusting the Lord's timing as well. I'm sure as you're at this point you see the light at the end of the tunnel. You've been here 2 years, you're going into year 3, and I'm sure you're just chomping at the bit to get out there. But sometimes the Lord's got to put the reins on a little bit and say, just hold on, I got this.
Right.
So how tough is that for you to just walk instead of run right now, and really understanding that there is a bigger purpose for you?
I have to humble myself and tell myself I can still learn a lot here at Dream Center from the disciples that are here. And I like talking to them now. I never did before.
Right.
First year I was here, I don't think I said 50 words.
Wow.
I just sat to myself and did my thing, and okay, But now I've opened up. I love it. And I can guarantee you the only thing that's going to save you from being an addict is God. You got to keep thinking about Him. He don't want you to be an addict. You weren't designed to be an addict.
Right. Right. That's awesome. So, going into this final step, missionary volunteer, you got all these opportunities lined up. Is it just a matter of letting it all fall into place? Again, I mean the position with the IT company didn't really seem like you were necessarily out there asking. This guy came to you. When that happens, I mean, is that again just a affirmation of all right, you've got this under control, guy?
God told him to do that. Yes. Also, I didn't mention I was on Facebook promoting it's called Reverb Nation. It's a place where musicians can post their music and their gigs. I was sending my link to every friend I had on there, and I was making new friends. And I made a new friend with a guy from Houston, where I'm from. His name is Randy Holland. He's writing his life story. He's a cop. And he listened to my music, and he said, God told me to call you or get hold of you. I want you to write some songs for my new movie. I said, wow.
That's awesome.
He's got Larry Gatlin writing songs. Larry Gatlin.
Larry Gatlin.
Okay,
Greg
I'm
Sury.
in. And if somebody buys that movie, we're off and running.
Yeah, that's cool.
He said God called him, just like God called the guy at church.
That's awesome.
So he's working in the background. I'm not going to rush it.
Yeah.
I don't have a car anyway.
You got to walk right now.
Yeah, literally.
So, how good does it feel to kind of have this second chance in life, to be able to get back out there, and I think it's, again, affirmation that it's never too late to make a change.
Well, see, I'm going to be 62 in March, and I could have said, well, I'm so old, I might as well just forget about it and retire and, don't work anymore. And I thought about taking the early Social Security at 62, where you can get reduced benefit.
Right.
Then I started feeling better recently, like over the last 3 months. I said, no, I'm going to work till I'm 70 and get that extra benefit.
There you go.
I've got perfect health, really.
Yeah.
Except for the mental, and I got the mental under control.
Yeah. I love it. So we're just about out of time before I get to my last question, but anything that we didn't cover that you want to...
I can't believe I talked that much. Okay. I'm a quiet guy. All right.
So, again, final question comes from the opening lyrics of a song by a guy by the name of Michael Franti, which say, when many little people in many little places do many little things and the whole world changes. So what's one of the little things that Greg does on a daily basis to make the world a little bit better place?
I try to talk to people now and always be positive, and if I see they're struggling, I try to help them out.
Yeah.
Because I know it's only temporary.
I love that, man. That is a great answer. Greg, I appreciate your time. I wish you the best of luck. Again, being able for the past month here to listen to you play, listen to you sing, I know there's going to be some doors open for you.
Yeah.
You have an incredible talent. So I see nothing but good things in your future, and I appreciate you taking the time. And again, we'll be praying for you. And
Y'all will be going to the theater watching that movie called Texas Grit, and you're going to hear my song come on, and I know who that is.
Yeah. Get to see that name in the credits.
Yeah.
That'll be good stuff. Folks out there listening, be sure to check out my other podcasts and blogs at danclouser.com. Greg, thanks again for taking the time. I appreciate it.
All right.